In this video, I'll show how a pressure washer can be used to inflate metal and guide you through your own hydroforming project. Hydroforming is a quick and easy way to create complex curves in metal without having to buy big expensive machinery or spend hours shaping by hand. For making one-off pieces, inflating metal is both faster and cheaper than any other method. Unlike a balloon, the metal is not really stretching, it's just being pushed outwards. So as the thickness increases, the outer edges are being pulled inwards. When you start inflating, the pressure targets the widest point, where it's easier to push the metal outwards. You need to be careful, as this can create folds, which can cut off smaller areas and stop them from inflating. You can prevent this by not having such a big difference between the two widths. You also need to be careful with the angles, as they get tighter as the piece inflates. To end up with the correct shape for your design, just add a few extra degrees onto each angle. I'll be making a pillow shape in this video, starting with two 20cm squares. It's a good idea to round the corners and curve the edges, which makes the inflation more uniform and predictable. The metal I use most is 1mm thick mild steel. I like using shears for cutting sheet metal, as they don't create dust or chips, creating clean and accurate edges. Don't forget to drill a small hole in one sheet, which will become the water inlet later on. The next step is to weld the two sheets into an airtight envelope. The best way to do this is with a TIG welder, using it without filler to melt the edges together. Try practicing welding the edges of scrap pieces and experiment with your welder's settings until the welds are clean and consistent. I normally spot weld the two sheets together first, allowing me to fix any unevenness with a grinder. To quickly test if my welds are airtight, I use a bike pump to add a small amount of pressure and check the edges for any leaks. This is the pressure washer I use, bought when I first started hydroforming in 2014. It was the cheapest one I could find and has a maximum pressure of 90 bar, which is much more pressure than is needed. I still wanted to use the pressure washer as intended, so I bought a second hose just for hydroforming. Find one with a steel fitting, so you can weld on a piece of tube, which then welds directly to the workpiece. It's now time to start hydroforming. First, turn on your water supply. I use a garden hose with a quick connector. Then attach your workpiece. A loose connection allows air to escape. The tap water alone is enough to start inflation. The pressure washer just provides extra power. The water is not being compressed, so it won't explode, but it's important to protect your eyes. You can stop whenever you're happy with it, or keep going until something breaks. I use a hacksaw to cut off the hose because the tube is still full of water. You can wait until the water drips out, or speed up the process by heating the surface with a blowtorch. To help prevent rust, you can seal the piece so no oxygen gets in, or try coating the inside with oil. Rust has not really been a problem for me, but you could always use stainless steel instead. This piece is going to make 2 bowls. I use an angle grinder to take off the welds and smooth the edges. Here is the finished product, which is a nice and simple first project. However, hydroforming is not just about making bowls. As I believe, there are limitless applications for art, design and engineering projects. Thanks for watching this video, and see you in the future.